Could you please raise your hands, those of you whose parents, not you yourselves, but whose parents were born in this country, in Lithuania? Congratulations, you are all diseased. We are all diseased. We're sick with a virus, which I would call post-Sovietism, Soviet virus. It runs in our veins, it's in our heads. It is a mindset that we have got, all of us, to greater or lesser extent. But every one of us has got it. Now, you may say that it's not true. It's like, it's been 30 years since the Soviet Union collapsed. It's been 30-something from the Berlin Wall. Yes, that's true. But it's a very small period of time, isn't it? And mind you that just recently in Germany, they have coined a new term, which in German sounds like Kriegsonkel, which means grandchildren of war, which means they still have young people like you, yourselves, which are still traumatized by the events which happened many years ago. And who transmits those traumatized particles of this virus? It's us, your parents, your grandparents, the society that we live in. I was born in Kaunas, and my childhood was in this building, projects they call them now in America or in England. Apartment number was 711. I didn't know what real 711 was at that time. I had no idea, of course. We had no idea how and what the free world looked like, because we were living under experimental conditions. We were guinea pigs of Soviets. And Soviets were very clever. Don't ever underestimate Soviets. They were very good, they still are, and they're still there. So they managed to make us believe that we are helpless against the state. You can do nothing. It's just things they are as they are. Don't worry. It's not your business to think about politics. It's dangerous. Don't you ever? Because it's dangerous. You may get into trouble. Don't try to change things. Just adapt. Just adjust yourself. And this is the first step into forming the Soviet mindset. This is the door for the virus to step in. Adapt. Adjust. Don't fight. The world is divided. The world is in constant battle. Always us and them. Male, female, black, white, rich, poor. Soviets very successfully implemented those thoughts into our minds that there's a constant battle. And you should always be on the right side. And they will tell you which side is the right one. If you're different by some crazy reason, it is very dangerous. You're always in minority. If you're different, if you think differently, you are in a minority, and you are being constantly monitored because you're different. Bullying, humiliation make a person stronger. Of course, this comes from Prussian school tradition. And many things I'm speaking about here, I'm trying to present you, many of those things are not solely Soviet. This could come from, I don't know, medieval times. Some other things may come from even deeper historical periods, but still, they very well function within the Soviet framework. Bullying and humiliation, we did that. We did that to somebody, and somebody did that to us. There's nothing you can change or do. Nothing. Just adapt, just adjust yourself. And you are always in the periphery, never in the center. Center is somewhere else. Center is the center of the empire. And this is me. This is Red Square. This is Moscow. And the center of, this is the center of the empire. They speak Russian there, don't they? And I remember saying to my father, being, I don't know, 10 years, 8 years, whatever. I remember saying to my father, maybe we should start speaking Russian, Daddy. So this is another example of how Sovietism, how this virus functions in you. Maybe I should adapt to the extent that I even adopt the imperial language. And today I'm speaking an imperial language, trying to speak an imperial language, because English is an imperial language, and this is how and why English is so popular now. It's because of the British Empire. I'm not trying to compare those two empires, but still. So Sovietism gets into you gradually, slowly, but terminally. And it stays there. It stays there as a nuclear waste, which takes a very long time to half, I don't know how the right word in physics, how do they, half-life. Okay, so which symptoms I would point out that we have? And mind you, the first of the lists is incomplete. The list is incomplete. I will tell you later why is it so. Okay, so people with Soviet virus in their heads, or post-colonial virus, to be more precise, post-colonial virus, they usually are egoistic, and because simply there were lots of everything. We had shortages of everything, and we had to fight for everything, for every, I don't know, for food, for clothes, for everything. So you become an egoistic person. You become an egoistic person, and you become pushy, very pushy, because you have to be fast, very fast and furious to get something, or else you'll stay hungry, or else you'll become an underdog, not important, not needed. And when you push it, of course, naturally, you lack empathy. You lack empathy for the other. This happens gradually. This is an ongoing process. Sometimes undersurfaced, sometimes usually unnoticed. Usually unnoticed, but it happens because Soviets are very clever. Colonialists are very clever because they are intuitive. They are intuitive. They act. I think a good comparison could be with an animal kingdom. With an animal kingdom, a lion always knows the right moment when to get up and attack. So you're pushy, you are suspicious, you're always suspicious. Always. Because you live in this reservation of lies and deceit. You're constantly lied to, you're constantly manipulated with. So you're suspicious. And you're snobbish, because your society is very much hierarchical, very much. They of course, they were speaking, they used to speak about equality. There was no equality, no. Secretive, you have to be secretive, because open word can be punished, so you stay silent, And you invent lots of euphemisms, and you invent lots of shortcuts. Cowardly. Yeah. Because it hurts. And you are material consumerists. You are, when somebody, Soviets used to tell us, in the West, they are material consumerists. No way, that is bullshit. The ultimate material consumerist is a Soviet person. You could kill a man for a pair of jeans. It's like, or a pair of sneakers. You could do whatever to get it. You could sell your kidney for sneakers. You are ultimately consumer. And of course you are judgmental. This one is bad, this person is crazy, that one is a whore, that one is this. You're very, very judgmental because you don't have time. You have to sort people. And you're shortcut orientated. Now, when I'm speaking and enumerating these things, don't you feel that we still have it? We still do have it in our minds. It's still there. That is why this list is incomplete. It is for you to complete it. This is my call for action. Think about it from time to time. How much of these things and some other things I have in my mind? How much Soviet I still am? And what can I do about it? So first of all, I should recognize it as trauma. Trauma, if not solved, if not talked about, is passed down the bloodline, generation to generation. It cannot be justified on any grounds. Oh, Soviets did that to me. I am not to blame. No. Of course you are not to blame, but you have to do something with it yourself. This is your task. You're still responsible for this. You didn't subscribe. You did not subscribe to that, but you're still responsible. This is the paradox you have to live with. This is one of the most painful paradoxes of Soviet system. I never wanted it, but I have it, and I have to deal with it myself. And yes, it is something I did not choose, but I'm still responsible. And a positive thing. In that regard, you may connect very positively, and I think there are many people now, because young people you are, so probably have this proclivity to be more leftist than myself. So if you want to talk and on the same level with people from post-colonial world, so this is a good position for you to acknowledge that I am post-colonial as much as you are. In that way, for instance, European Union can positively talk to nations of Africa. And I did that, and I know that from my experience, and it works. Because I say, I am the same. I understand you, and you should understand me. We are all post-colonial. In that way, you can talk to people from the post-fascist world. Think about Germany that I mentioned, and they still acknowledge those traumas. Think about Spain, think about Portugal. So this is a positive thing, in a way, to use this virus as a tool of communication, a tool to get better. So the paradox is that we should better know ourselves and the trauma that we have in order to improve our world. There is no other way than to start from here, from myself. Thank you.